Years ago, parents were taught sticks and stones will break your bones, but names will never hurt you. That's not true. I mean, name calling and abusive behavior is damaging. The difference between bullying and a conflict is bullying is intentional, bullying is abusive and repetitive. When bullying behavior happens, this behavior is something that is not a one-time, joke that's been made or a statement that, has been upsetting to someone. This is an ongoing situation. The face of bullying has really changed, particularly in the past generation or two. The big burly bully that's picking on the smaller, puny student or child, that's changed. Now, it can be anyone. It could be the class president.
Even the popular kids and your school leaders are engaging this as a means to, keep other people beneath them and to elevate their social status.
Bullying begins usually at a pretty young age. This is learned behavior. Kids live what they learn. They mirror the things that are around them.
The younger bully can evolve into an older bully if those, unhealthy interpersonal skills or using the group dynamics of, embarrassment and intimidation don't change. And you see that play out. I mean, an adult bully is very much what an adolescent bully is.
Bullying is making jokes at someone else's expense.
And they're saying mean stuff about you, but not directly to you, maybe to their friend or something.
People were always calling each other names or talking bad about each other behind their backs.
Exclusion from activities.
You feel like you are different from everybody else.
Most common forms of bullying were undoubtedly verbal and cyber.
Cyberbullying has taken on a life of its own.
If my friend put a picture online of me, they would put ew, why do you hang out, that she's gross and stuff like that.
People that were in the popular group, they thought, I have a lot of friends, so I'm safe to make fun of somebody. All these people are gonna laugh along with me. Making fun of these people is gonna make me even more popular.
When you're a teenager, you're constantly told you have to look a certain way, you have to do certain things in order to be accepted.
The opportunity to bully is so much greater today. And, it just presents itself in so many different ways.
Back in the day, if you wanted to call someone and start a rumor about somebody, you had to call one person who had to call one person who had to call one person. Now you can sit down at a computer and you can click 500 kids that you're friends with and start a rumor.
Kids are growing up having cell phones with cameras. They're able to tape anything they want. They're able to play it back over and over. People aren't understanding that just because you can doesn't mean that you should.
I felt like I was a pest. I felt like since a few select people said those things that everyone thought it and it was just a fact. Because I got told it so often every day, I can remember just sitting there thinking, and one of them said that I dress like a boy. Oh, you dress like a boy. I went home and got rid of half my clothes.
When suddenly you have a student that doesn't have any issues with going to school and then they want to avoid, a certain class, or they're saying they're sick when you really can't pick, an illness that they're dealing with, but they're just emotionally too drained to want to deal with what they're facing, and many times they don't want to talk about it.
I would stay up all night feeling sick and crying and dreading the next day. I wasn't getting much sleep. I wasn't really eating because I felt sick before school and during school, so I didn't have an appetite. I had a terrible attendance. It definitely interfered with my schoolwork because in class I didn't feel safe.
Kids are using computers and iPads and things like that at a very early age. They're 3 and 4 years old. So I think that comes with the responsibility of having technology in your house. So I think parents, again, are kind of the first teachers for modeling that behavior. So I always suggest have a computer in an open area. Make sure you're checking in that you have the passwords and the usernames and everything to, and that your child gets the privilege of the technology as long as you are on that technology with them. And then as they get older and they demonstrate some responsibility, then it's really kind of coaching them on what would you do if that wasn't a positive interaction, and how would you sign off gracefully.
When I was little, we had computers, so I don't really know a life without technology and social media, email, and all that stuff.
you know, there aren't many adults on Twitter. Your parents aren't often monitoring your Twitter account. So when there's like a fight on Twitter or a fight on Facebook, adults don't see it. The peers sometimes like to sit back and watch the comments, you know, go on and on as kids fight.
I'm surprised at the amount of posts that are going on after midnight. So I think that if parents were to every once in a while just check the usage of the cell phones and when the calls are being made or the texts are being made, you would have kind of a better understanding.
I saw very few kids react in an appropriate manner where they would like bring it to somebody and show them, or like have an adult or a peer help them. More often they just kind of took it and like just felt bad.
If I had gone to administration sooner, I feel like it would have been taken care of before it had gotten even worse. My support group that I had, I was very close with my guidance counselor, my adjustment counselor, the school nurse, and also there was a lot of time that I had to spend reflecting on myself and learning to love myself and have respect for myself enough to know that like I didn't deserve this, and to not kind of wallow in it and to just move on. It made me realize what really matters. What matters is how I think about myself. What matters is that I'm healthy and that I'm confident in who I am and feel good in my own skin. And now I feel like such a different person.
You know, if your kids are coming home, it probably took some guts to talk about it. So, you know, have that conversation and then, you know, ask them and keep them informed in the process. Let them know you're there to help them and protect them. But what do you think might be helpful, you know, rather than, oh, that happened to me and don't worry, it's just a phase. Like, try not to be dismissive of it.
I think that bystanders are often feeling like, well, you know, I'm just part of the group. I didn't really do anything. I'm just reacting to what happened, and there's nothing wrong with laughing. There's no law against laughing. But by being a bystander, you're actually contributing to this bullying.
If you see bullying happen, it's not only a responsibility as a peer, but just like a human being. If you see something wrong, you should feel like you need to do something about it.
Sometimes changing the subject or positioning yourself between the bully and the victim, and just kind of, you know, making a difference by befriending this victim. And it takes the power away from the bully. You know, that bully won't have that power to bully if that audience isn't part of it.